Let's get right into it. We like to think of love as a conscious choice, a matter of preference and free will. But what if the real power in your love life is a tangled web of brain chemistry, childhood habits, and a few ancient survival instincts you didn't ask for? If you've ever found yourself falling for the wrong person again, you're not alone. Today, we're unraveling the sneaky, scientific ways your own mind sets you up to love the people you probably shouldn't. Number 7. Why familiar feels so good even when it's bad ***. Ever wonder why you keep getting drawn to the same kind of person, even when you know it's a recipe for heartbreak? You can blame your brain's ancient reward system for that. Deep inside your head, there's a region that's been rewarding you for seeking the familiar since before you were born. Every time you encounter someone who reminds you consciously or not of people from your past, your brain releases a little burst of dopamine, the feel-good chemical. Here's the catch. Your brain doesn't care if familiar is healthy or destructive. It just cares that it recognizes the pattern. If you grew up in chaos or unpredictability, your brain actually gets a hit of pleasure from reliving that chaos because, to your primitive wiring, survival is about sticking to what you know. Noticing these patterns and questioning if they're helping or hurting is the first step to breaking free from your brain's default settings. Number 6. The slot machine effect. Why bad boys and girls hook you. Is there a scientific reason why people with wild, unpredictable energy seem irresistible even when you can see the heartbreak coming? Welcome to the slot machine brain. This is the combination of dopamine, attachment wiring, and the unpredictable rewards that turn some relationships into emotional casinos. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter behind every thrill gambling, video games, even checking your phone for messages. When someone gives you affection, then pulls away, then draws you back in, it creates what psychologists call intermittent reinforcement. You never know when the next win is coming. So your brain goes all in every time. That rush is amplified by your attachment style, the patterns you learned from your earliest relationships. If love meant chasing, waiting, or proving yourself as a kid, you'll unconsciously find those dynamics as an adult. This creates an emotional high, followed by crashes of anxiety and longing so intense it can feel like genuine passion. The brain's reward and stress circuits actually blur, making drama feel like romance and peace feel dull or suspicious. Once you know how the slot machine works, you can start to spot the pattern and choose a different game. Number 5. Imprinting your type isn't really your type. Why do you keep picking the same type, even when it always leads to the same painful ending? Scientists call it imprinting, a subconscious blueprint formed in childhood. The way your early caregivers responded to your needs, the emotional climate at home, even the dramas you witnessed on television, all lay down tracks in your developing brain. These blueprints become your definition of normal, even if they were chaotic or unkind. When you meet someone who matches that emotional template, you get an automatic spark of recognition. Your logical brain might scream, "Run!" but your wiring whispers, "This feels right." And so the cycle repeats until you bring these patterns into awareness and start building a new definition of love. If you can shine a light on those old blueprints, you can start to sketch out a better path forward. Number 4. When intensity masquerades as love. What happens in your brain when you confuse wild emotional ups and downs with genuine connection? Here's the science. The brain's stress and reward systems overlap in ways that make drama and unpredictability feel intoxicating, especially if you're wired for excitement or have learned to associate chaos with affection. In these relationships, you're often on edge wondering when the next text will come, replaying conversations, riding waves of hope and anxiety. Each emotional high gets burned into memory, and every low triggers craving for another hit of that chemical reward. The stress hormone cortisol and the reward molecule dopamine dance a dangerous tango, amplifying your emotional state until you can't tell the difference between passion and panic. Studies have found that this addictive love can look a lot like substance addiction in the brain. Withdrawal symptoms are real: insomnia, mood swings, intrusive thoughts. This is why people stay stuck in toxic loops, even when they know better. Your brain is literally fighting for another taste of that unpredictable connection, confusing intensity with intimacy. But healthy love doesn't depend on drama. Secure, steady connections might feel boring at first, especially if your brain is wired for chaos. But over time, your nervous system adapts, learning to find comfort and excitement in genuine care and trust. If you catch yourself craving those wild emotional rides, pause and ask, is this love or just my brain chasing a chemical rush? Number 3. How red flags get blurred out. Why are red flags so easy to miss in the moment and so obvious in hindsight? Here's the neuroscience. Strong emotions, especially infatuation, flood your prefrontal cortex, the logic center of your brain, with chemicals that blunt doubt and suppress caution. When you're in the thick of new love, you're wired to focus on the positive, tune out the negative, and ignore warning signs. Evolution programmed us this way to build bonds quickly, but in the modern world, it can set you up for heartbreak. When the emotional fog clears, all those red flags come into sharp focus, but by then, the damage is often done. If you can slow down and check in with yourself during those early stages, you might spot trouble before it becomes a problem. Number 2, how trauma and heartbreak shape your taste. Can old wounds really rewire your sense of what feels right? Absolutely. Trauma, heartbreak, and loneliness can reshape the neural pathways in your brain, making patterns of love and attachment feel familiar even if they're unhealthy. When you're hurt, your brain wants to avoid pain, but it also searches for meaning and closure. Sometimes, that means gravitating toward people who trigger old wounds, hoping for a different outcome this time. This creates a feedback loop. Every disappointment reinforces the pattern, making it harder to recognize healthy love when it comes along. In fact, safety and stability can feel boring or even suspicious to a brain wired for chaos. The good news? The brain is plastic. It can heal, adapt, and form new connections. Therapy, reflection, and supportive relationships all help break the spell, rewiring your brain to recognize and seek out what's actually good for you. If you find yourself drawn to the same painful dynamics, it might be time to heal your story so you can write a new one. Number 1, rewiring your brain for better love. Here's the hope. You're not doomed to repeat the same mistakes forever. Thanks to neuroplasticity, your brain can unlearn old patterns and build new ones. Every time you make a different choice, pausing before you text an ex, setting a boundary, or giving a healthy relationship a chance, you lay down new neural pathways. Mindfulness, self-reflection, and support from friends or therapy all help this process. With time, healthy connections start to feel more natural and exciting, while the drama and chaos lose their hold. It's not about becoming perfect. It's about giving yourself permission to love and be loved in new, better ways. So, if you're ready for a new chapter, know that every step you take is a chance to retrain your brain and your heart. If you found this deep dive into the brain's secret love life eye-opening, make sure you subscribe for more stories that help you understand and outsmart your own wiring. Love might be a mystery, but the science of your heart and mind doesn't have to be. Next time you feel pulled toward the wrong person, take a beat, breathe, and remember you have the power to choose something better.